after almost 2 weeks on the road, we finally made it. And I'm going to tell you about the 10 things that we got from Amazon for under $30 that we wouldn't have been able to live without. I'm Angie, and along with Kevin, my husband, we own Happy Acres Campground in Angola, Indiana. But we don't just own a campground. During the off season, all winter long, we load up Roxie and our 2 dogs, Jane and Dexter, and we go on adventures. We find new places, we explore, and we want to take you along with us. So let's get into it. 2 weeks on the road is a long time in a little van with 2 dogs. So being organized is critical. First thing, I got this carpet here. I actually cut it, which is one of the things that's nice about it. It came and it's only 16 inches wide, which is perfect. So it fits perfectly along our aisle. And the extra pieces I cut off for the steps. So when they get dirty, when the dogs bring in leaves and sand and dirt, I can just shake them off. And they stay in place, which is really nice because you know, you don't want to be slipping and sliding when you're coming in and out of the van. This organizer on the back of the seat is perfect. It's easy because it's right inside the door, so we keep all of our dog stuff in it. We've got the dog treats, the dog poop bags, we've got the collapsible bowl, and all kinds of stuff in there just for dogs, but you could really use it for anything. And since it's so close to the door, it's super convenient. The third thing is this wire mesh basket, and we use it for dog toys, but we've also used it for shoes and just miscellaneous things that we need quick access to from outside. It comes in a 4-pack, which is really cool, but I haven't figured out what to do with the other 3 yet. So right now we just have this one, but how it attaches, it's actually really cool. It has these taped on clips, so it actually pops right off. The clips stay, and then you can pop it right back on. So like when I need to sweep or vacuum underneath, whatever, I can just pop it off and then pop it back on. So one thing about the Winnebago Revel that, at least in my opinion, is an issue is the lack of kitchen accessory storage. There is no adequate storage for spoons and knives and for cooking utensils. I found these really cute little mesh nets, and what makes them even better, I have another one over here, is they're velcroed on, so you can take them on and off if you need to, for whatever reason. If you need to move them around, you can get more velcro strips. But so I keep like my spoons and my drying mat, hot pads, all that kind of stuff in there, because there's just not really great storage in the Revel for that kind of stuff. Number 5, the bathroom. There's absolutely no storage in the bathroom other than for a couple rolls of toilet paper. I had to get creative and come up with something that would work. I found this shower safe organizer. It's made out of a material front and back that if it gets wet, it's not gonna like mold or mildew or anything like that. And then I just keep anything in here that can get wet. It has like a hanger top on it, so I just zip tied it in there so that it doesn't fly back and forth while we're driving, and it works perfect. We keep our shampoo, our toothpaste, any bathroom stuff really goes in here while we're traveling. Since we're on the subject of organizers, I actually have 2 more organizers that are technically shoe organizers. I don't use them for shoes. Number 1 is hanging on our bathroom door. And it is an over-the-door method of installation. And the hooks that come with it don't exactly work on the 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch doors. So I have them upside down, and I just put this tape on here just so that it doesn't slide back and forth. It doesn't look the best, but it does work. The other thing that I have added is this elastic strap. It just basically keeps it from banging around while we're driving. It has helped. This is the first trip that I've done that. The other thing about this is this one is a pretty small, narrow organizer, and that's because I wanted it to fit on one side of the door so that when you open the door and shut the door, it's not binding up or getting in the way. Last organizer. It's smaller. It's still narrow, but it's only 3 sections long. This is where we keep kind of our more tool type stuff. We've got a lantern, some tape, some screwdrivers, zip ties, just miscellaneous stuff like that in this one back here. Same thing. It's got the cloth back and the mesh front. I just zip tied it to this little dresser thing that I have in here for our clothes, and it works perfectly. All right, we're down to the last 3 things, and I saved them, you know, the best for last. Let's get to it. These all have to do with organization. First one, number 8 is this back seat headrest organizer. This is where I sit most of the time. I usually have my computer here. And although these cup holders are really cool in this Canyon Adventure Van table that we added, they don't work for me because I typically have my computer here. So I still need a place to put my drink or, you know, just miscellaneous other stuff, because when you're driving, pens roll off, stuff flies everywhere, you know, things happen. So this silly little headrest organizer on the back of this is perfect. I can just fit everything right there, and everything's out of the way. It's secured. I highly recommend it. It comes with 2 different types of these little brackets depending on how I guess there must be 2 different types of headrests. All right, let's talk about cabinet organization, because although the Revel has good storage amount of storage space, I wouldn't necessarily say that it is set up to be able to optimize the storage space. I went to Amazon and scoured the entire site, it felt like forever, to find these organizers, and they fit perfect. All right, so I don't have a ton of stuff up here right now, but this is what I'm talking about. I can fit 3 shelves worth of stuff inside this cabinet, and not just this cabinet. I got a second one for this cabinet. I mean, can you imagine all of this stuff in this cabinet if we didn't have those shelves? They are so cool. So not only can you fit all of this stuff in here, I emptied it off so I could show you the magic. It is adjustable. So if you need them to be a little bit smaller because you have something bigger over here, you just shrink it up. And then when you need it to be bigger, like I have mine, you just pull it apart. They're so cool, and they fit in here perfectly. Like, you can see that there's very little wiggle room. The food stays in place, everything that I have stored in there. In fact, a lot of times I forget to shut the door and stuff still stays in there. Definitely worth it. It is a game changer for the storage of these 2 upper cabinets. Last but not least, it's another organization item. I don't know how many of you have actually been inside of a Revel and seen the pantry, but it is tiny. When I say tiny, I mean skinny. And there's only 2 shelves in it. It leaves a lot of wasted space when you only have 2 shelves. So let me show you what I found. It's not going to be super easy to show you, but this is a shelf that came with the van, and then this is a shelf that came with the van, and then the bottom. So there was only 3 shelves, and you can see how tall this area is. So if you put a can in there, I mean, this much space is wasted. So I found these plastic shelves that fit in here perfectly. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves. I doubled my shelf space. So I actually have those shelves in there backwards. The back side had a little lip, which I thought was better for in here so that things would be less likely to fall off if the door was open and we were driving, because sometimes I forget to shut the doors. There are my 10 items from Amazon for under $30. Hopefully at least one of them maybe might be helpful to you. And if you are living the van life, I highly recommend all of these things. I'm going to put them all in the description with links to Amazon. Just FYI, I get nothing from Amazon for suggesting these things to you. I'm just trying to help you out and make van life a little less hectic, crowded, crazy, a little more organized. So don't just camp, camp happy.